Hello, my name's Bill Kirkenbauer, and I'm proud to say that I was a friend of Vic Dunlops for about 37 years, as far as I can remember. I met Vic, or let's put it this way, I saw Vic for the first time in a Ralph's grocery store at the corner of Vermont and Santa Monica Boulevard back in, I think, about 1974. And he was certainly somebody that you would look at. He was wearing overall jeans and had big frizzy hair and some sort of colorful tie-dyed shirt, if I remember correctly. And that's the first time I saw him. I never met him. I just saw him in the store. And then later on, I ran into him at the Comedy Store. And somehow we became dear friends over the years. And it just seems like it went by so fast. And as I told Linda, that I myself wasn't done with Vic. I had dreams of doing things with him, even in the future, even though we lived apart. I know he wanted to go back to Thailand, and that he had things that he wanted to do too. He came and visited me here in Texas, and I'm so sorry that I can't be there with you and the family and everybody else that was so lucky enough to have known Vic. He was a character. He was loud, and he was irreverent, and he was just funny. He was as funny as they get. He was naturally funny, and I will miss him dearly. I want to tell you a story, one of many stories that I think is quite indicative of Vic. A few years ago, he and Bruce Baum, hi Bruce, decided they were going to go work in Las Vegas or some little casino outside of Las Vegas, and what they would do is they'd both go park at my house, or one of them would park at my house, and they'd take the other's car. Well, one time they did this, and they left Vic's van there, and I noticed that Vic had bought one of those magnetic signs that you stick onto the side of your car. It said, "I'm a comedian, hire me, I'm funny," and his telephone number. So I thought, well, it's like a good idea since he's not around. So I decided to play a joke on him, and I took it off the van. I took it inside. I made a white piece of paper. I wrote my telephone number on it and pasted it over his, and then I put it on my car for a few days. And then a few hours before they were supposed to get back, I went out and put it on Vic's van and figured, how long is it going to take him to notice it's my telephone number? So he came back and they picked up the car, and I don't think he even stopped by the house, but he took off, and lo and behold, about 5 days later, I get a call from this guy. Some young guy said that he was having a wedding at the hotel over by Burbank Airport, at a hotel there, and he wanted me to perform. He said he'd give me, I think it was like $500, which is not exactly what I always worked for, but I figured, hey, what the heck, I'll go do the gig, I'll give half of it to Vic, I'll take him up to sushi, and we'll have a good laugh. So about a week goes by, and I decide that I'm going to go do the show. So I get the information from the guy, and on Saturday night, I remember it was a Saturday night, I got all dressed, and I went over to the hotel, and I went in the hotel and said, I'm looking for the Smith wedding. And the guy says, there's no weddings here tonight. I said, this is the Hilton, right? And he said, yeah. I said, look, this is the Hilton at the Burbank Airport, right? He said, yeah. I said, you got to be, there's a wedding here somewhere. He said, no, there's no wedding. So I looked around, I looked on the poster board, there was no wedding. I thought, damn. So I got back in my car and started driving home, and I got the number from the guy that had hired me, and I called him. I said, hey Larry, what's the deal here? He said, the wedding got postponed. He said, let me let you talk to my dad. And Vic came on the line. Hey, Kirkenbauer, you have a good show? So that was Vic. And I imagine if I could sit here for a long time and tell you lots of other stories, they'd be just as amusing. He was a lovely man. And I will never forget him. he's the brother I never really had. I was a single child. And so Vic was like the older brother to me for a long time. And I loved him. He's the only other man other than my son that I kissed on the cheek. And he was a real sweetheart. And he paid me to say the word was, because he always will. All the energy that he put out, all the people he made laugh over the years that he did comedy all across the country, you can't take that away. Everybody will remember. Everybody remembered when they saw Vic. And I'm so sad that he's gone. I will deeply miss him. And I wish I could be with everybody today, but unfortunately I can't. But one day we'll get together. One other story. For years, I used to tease Vic about two things. Two things that he used to do that I thought were wrong. He liked it when I teased him, actually. And one of them was he always mispronounced salmon. He would always call it salmon. The salmon this and this salmon. I had some say, Vic, it's salmon. The L is silent. And I don't think he ever fixed that. And then in his act, he used to do this Twilight Zone thing, and he'd sit do the Twilight, and he'd go, neener, 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 neener. And I'd say to him, I said to this for like 25 years, I said, Vic, what is neener? Neener's not a word. It's do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Why don't you do it like everybody else? It's do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And I think the last time I talked to him, I teased him about that, because I just said, are you still saying neener, neener? And he laughed, and I said, you are, aren't you? It's not a word, Vic. Neener, neener. It's do-do-do-do. And I don't think he ever did that. He just did it the way he thought it should be. And maybe it was funnier. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just here to say, if you got a drink in your hand, hold it up. I have a calculator. I'm here alone, or I'm going to get a drink. But here's to Vic. One of the greatest sweethearts I've ever known in my life. And I will never, ever, ever forget him. Okay.